Alrighty, looks like we've got a 500i on the bench today. Uh, got one small problem. That's not right. Anyway, this is one of those things, and you can see how loose that is. It's not a downfall of, because I don't know exactly how much the electronics will be able to keep up with that kind of an air leak. I did take a peek in here, and if memory serves, and we really can't see. There's no piston damage for what I can see. But, you know, it's so tempting because it's kind of a pain in the ass. You got a lot of stuff to take off here to drill this out and put an insert in it. Now, this will be the first time I've ever had to do one of the M10 spark plugs. So that's why we're doing a little bit of content on this one. Let me show you what I've got. So I'm not a machinist by any stretch, but here's my thing. You know, there's just no easy, hey, I need a M10 spark plug repair kit. Here, let me set you down one more time. I'm gonna grab what I use for the regular spark plugs. Okay, so here's what I like to use for your traditional spark plugs. So this double tap right here is what you can use to, you know, clean up the existing threads if that's possible, or it will actually bore it over and rethread it larger to accept a steel insert. And the steel insert has, if you look at that, there's some little grippy teeth on the end, and that's supposed to go on the outside where the spark plug butts up against it. Then this install tool right here will actually, you know, form and shape and press this insert into. Got great results with this. As long as you install it properly, they last a long time. I've only had a couple of, one or two failures out of maybe 30 or 40 of these installs. And it was basically due to my negligence of not using the kit properly. These come with, I think, 15 millimeter inserts. Well, they say 10 millimeter inserts, but if you look at it, once this tightens up, I'm going to have more insert. I don't want that hanging into the combustion chamber. So just in case, or I can custom trim this, I bought the next size down, what seems to be a little bit on the short side. You know, that may be enough, and that'll do, because this will actually slide on there. So once this is installed, it's actually going to be just a tick longer. So I'm thinking I'm going to install this one, and we'll see how it goes. If I don't get enough thread contact, then I may switch over and just, you know, go ahead and run that all the way through, pop it out. It's very tempting on these, like I said, but you know, if you can get the piston in such a manner where the transfers are closed and the exhaust port's still cracked open and blow out all the crumbs from drilling and tapping this, it's just not a good idea. You're playing with fire, and not on a saw this expensive, and especially one that doesn't belong to me in here for a minor vagina repair. So we're going to pull the tank, intake boot, and then pull the top end off of here, and then get it chucked up in the vise, drill, tap, and do a repair. This is, I don't use my Tree Monkey. This is Scott Coons right here. And I always try to plug him. I don't know if Scott is still doing these saw vices. Last I heard, he still is. This thing's absolutely phenomenal. You know, even down to the, you know, these are kind of spring-loaded handles, and you know, you can articulate the saw in a bunch of different ways. And when you need to have both hands to free up everything and work in different scenarios, she's an incredibly great helper. And you know, Scott makes these from scratch and is really proud of his purple Hooter paint. I've seen a couple other ones that are in nice loud colors as well. But anyway, that's that. Okay, I've already drilled this out with I think this is a 30 seconds drill bit. Here's the tap, the oversized tap that came with the Helicoil kit. And I just want to get this lined up so we start going in nice and straight. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, when I ran the drill bit down through there, it cleaned up just enough. I'll be interested to see how nice the threads are when we get done with this tap. I did hit that with a little bit of cutting oil. Threads feel decent. I'm gonna throw a little bit of air at this and kind of clean out what's there. And there's a fair amount of chips. There's a lot less chips that are from doing this, because this only steps it up a small amount. Using those metal inserts, those threads look pretty good. Here, I'll take you around and we can take a look. I feel pretty decent about this. Come on, focus. Those look pretty good. A little rough in some areas, but I think this is going to be a good repair. Now I've got the insert loaded up in the install tool. Let me back that up. Man, I got to hit a estate sale. There's going to be one around the corner from me, and get a nice tap wrench, because, dude, you just can't get anything nice. I bought this when it said Irwin, and I didn't notice at the same time I was doing this that it said made in China. And you can definitely, you know, feel from the thread quality and everything else. I mean, yes, it is a tap handle. Does it work? Yes. It's just not as nice. Get that cleaned up pretty nice. What you do is you drop the insert in. I mean, it's just like any other Helicoil. And then you know, spin that in. And then what I'm going to do is, see, it catches. There's a, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I'm just going to set that over the top of that and hold it and see. I want this to start in there. Come on. That feels pretty good. And what I do when I know I'm getting close, I'm gonna start lifting up on the plastic part of this install tool, and then I'll be able to follow the threads in to make sure that I am completely recessed when I'm not going to have anything there. Now I'm going to take this crappy handle off and then just wiggle that. This is just like any other tool. That looks pretty good. I'm 3/4 of the depth of the spark plug hole. So if you look in there, it's everything but the last thread or two. I think this is going to be a good repair. Now, we're going to have to snap off that part of the spring right there. And again, I think if I had used the ones that came with this kit that are significantly longer, I would have had to custom trim the end of this to make sure we didn't have any excess. You know, which would be hard. I'd be afraid to damage these or tweak or bend them. I think I got a good install, and there's going to be enough thread there to do what we want to do. All right, well, it wouldn't be one of my videos unless we talked a little bit about what's it look like inside. There seems to be, you know, and I've heard about this. I don't work on too many 500s. But but I've heard about some of the casting issues where they didn't really clean these pistons up. I feel the same thing up front. There's a couple of burrs that didn't get quite chamfered off. But anyway, I've wiped this off. I'm ready to go put it back together, but I thought we'd talk about it. Piston's nice and clean. These guys run mostly ultra. There is the blue or the orange bottle HP in the tank right now. There's nice light film. Nothing's too terribly popcorn fart dry. You know, a little bit of wear. Nothing crazy. Nothing to write home about. You know, these things actually running pretty hot, and that was probably from the air leak. It was trying to get around. So, you know, we got air leak at the spark plug hole. She got hot. You know, thankfully no damage was done. But you know, there's the plate. I don't know if that gives it justice. It's definitely got that chalky look to it. Anyway, that's enough about oil for today. All there is left to do is put everything back together, take it out, run it, make sure it's doing its thing and that it's not too terribly far out of whack. If I need to, I'll plug it into the MDG and run some quick tests on it and recalibrate it. Well, so much for a conclusion to this video. I was putting the last few screws back in the saw, and customer says, hey, I'm on the way. I got to drop off a couple of saws. I'm in the area doing a bid. So anyway, the helicoil insert did well. When I put the spark plug back in, you know, you really have to remember, you've got about half to 3/4 of a turn where you crush the washer or the bottom of the spark plug in order to make an airtight seal. So, you know, you'll find resistance, and then all of a sudden it gets really snug, and then just a little oomph after that and you're good. But I leaned on it pretty hard, and looks like that repair was well. And even with the saw being out of tune, I think the 500i's seem to adjust a little bit faster, because it took me a couple attempts to get it up and running. It would pop off and sputter, pop off and sputter. And once it took off and ran, I let it run up to full throttle, made a test cut with it, and it seemed to be perfectly in tune in a matter of no time. So anyway, thanks for sticking around with me today. Sorry there was no humdrum or no flashy ending to this one, but that's how it goes. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.